In this video I'm going to revisit an old topic. I had a question in my initial video where somebody asked how you can get rid of the black that shows up on either side if your image doesn't fill the screen. So I went ahead and I created a video on making that image. And what I thought I would do is create another video on how I edit that video. My initial step is going to be to create a file. So if I just let it play here, you can see that it's going to take a while before I actually open and create the file. So what I usually do is I go ahead and I cut out some of the beginning. In this case I'm going to cut it out until here. And then I'm going to go ahead and insert a transition here. And of course it puts it where it thinks it should be, and then I adjust it to where I want it. If you mouse over this transition and drag it back, it'll start at that point. And then if you go down here you can apply the zoom and crop. So now I kind of let it play again. And this is taking too long too, so then I go down here. I want to go ahead and get the transition to pixels. So I think I'll leave. You can see the mouse movement is where these white dots are, and where it's gray is a paused. So I can delete that. And then if I go over here, so this is selecting the pixel, and then this is selecting the field down here. And go ahead and delete some of that too, just to speed things up. And then this must have been me thinking about it, so I can delete that. Right through here I know I'm typing 1366, so I'll just delete that, that, and go ahead and get just a little more here. Then we'll go back to the beginning and we'll hit play and we'll see how that looks. Open it, new, resize. That flows pretty good. But then you can see it tried to auto adjust, but this really needs to be 768. So once again we can back up just a little bit. Get rid of some of this area where and if you stay and you delete the areas that don't show any movement or any typing, your video will still look very clean. Let's go back again. I could probably get rid of that where I highlight the 100 there, but for now we'll just leave it. That looks pretty good. And that's how I go through the whole system and edit the file. Now in this case I'm going to go ahead and show a little bit more because I'm actually making a graphic for the display. One of the things that I like to do is the colors for mine are a green color. So let's go ahead and transition so that we can see that change over there. So I go ahead and go backwards here. Let's go back to where I clicked on the colors, which was right here. And so now I need to go ahead and add a transition right here. If you grab right here, you can drag the whole thing wherever you want it to be. In this case, at this red dot, that's where we made the transition. So now we can drag it down. let's go back to here and hit play. Oh, we want to play with effects so we can see if it works. That looks pretty good. And now I'm just going to select a green. I'm not sure why I selected the red there. But what we can do is we can go to here. We can get rid of all of that and make it look like we went right down to the green. And what's interesting here is I typed 55. For some reason I was thinking this was supposed to be in hex so that the values would be 0 to FF. But instead it was 0 to 255. So I wasted a lot of time here selecting values. So I'm trying to find a light green. So we're just going to go ahead and fast forward here a little bit and get rid of some of these samples that I was trying. I finally settled on 233, so now we can go ahead and get rid of some of these spaces. I got rid of a 3, it looks like, too, but it'll go so fast I don't think it'll matter. Let's go back and look at that again. That looks pretty good. There's another pause here, I can get rid of it. That's how I would go through the entire video and just slowly chop it down so that it flows a little bit faster. Now we're going to go ahead and insert another zoom. But we're going to go all the way out. And you'll see that I'm going to apply green to this whole area. Sometimes if you want to display text, you can grab one of these text boxes over here that's pre-configured, or you can insert text only. Text only is nice because then you don't have to worry about a background, you don't have to worry about a custom shape or anything like that. But it's very limited in what you can choose. You can choose your text color, but you can't center it. There's a lot of limitations to this. So what I wanted to do is come up with a way to have it look transparent, look as if it's floating like this. I'm going to go ahead and enter one just so you see what it looks like. But in this case it's got some styling that I don't want. So let's go back into it. Let's get rid of the gradient fill and the outline, but we'll leave the drop shadow. We'll put that up here. And I kind of like the way it's clean and it looks without a background. If you grab one of these and put it over here, it stands out a little bit more, and sometimes that's what you want, but sometimes you don't. But when I double click on this, well, actually I'm going to leave this just the way it is, and we're going to grab another one. If I double click on this, you can see that you have a lot more options up here. If you want to keep all the options but appear as if it's floating, you can go here and you can set custom colors. Find a custom color, and if you remember, it's 233 is the color. So add it and then click OK, and you can see that it's starting to change it. Go back to our appearance, and we want the gradient fill. We'll just turn that off, and we'll go ahead and click OK again. And now if we click over here, it still has this drop shadow. And what I found is it's better to leave a border on there. Don't make it 0, because if you make it 0, which I'll go ahead and do, you'll still end up seeing it. We'll go ahead and do the drop shadow next, just to show. See, we'll get rid of the drop shadow. Go OK. And you can still see a line around there for some reason. And I've never quite figured that out, but the workaround is just to go ahead and leave a border but make it the same color. Oh, it did stay there that time, so let's get rid of that. Oh, but you can still see it's in the corners. I thought it was a little more like that, where it's just kind of there. So what I found is that you go ahead and leave the border, but you create a custom color, just like we did up there. I'm not sure why it doesn't appear over here when you create it in the one spot, but it doesn't, so just create it again. And then it's there. If you wanted a gradient fill to the same color, you would have to add it in here. It will not appear without adding it. So we'll go OK. And now, well, it didn't apply, so hold on. It should have. Let's make it 2. It's still there, isn't it? What I've done in the past is I've left the drop shadow and I've just made it 0, and I've turned it also to the custom color. And maybe you're required to do that. I didn't think you would be. I thought if I got rid of the drop shadow I'd be okay. But we'll go ahead and do that too. And it's gone. So now you essentially have this same look here, but you can go into it and you can add more text. Line 2, line 3. And what you can do is you can take this first line here and you could have it go to all the way to the left. You could have this one go to the right, and you could keep this one centered. And then you can drag it around, make it bigger, make it smaller, do whatever you want. If you go up here and you click on it and you want to make it bigger, it just makes the text bigger. You can't really, you're not as flexible as you are with it like this. So I really like this layout a lot better. With the style itself, if you really like this layout and you're going to copy that box over and over and over, you can save it. So if you hit save here, it'll ask you for a new style. We'll call it new style. I don't have one in here that says new style, and I can delete it later. So we'll go OK. And now you can see that it's in there. So if I go OK now, and I move over to here, and I grab this text box again and bring it in, I can double click on it, go to style, new style, and apply. Okay, if I hit play now, that's the strange thing about this, is if there isn't something else to grab, then you can't let go of that. And you'd think you can grab that, but that's actually from the other video that I'm making. You can't select that. In order to select off of that, I'd have to grab something else, put it here, and then you can see how now you can select something else. If you ever want to do tests, you can do that, because you can always go up here and then right click on it and delete it. And that's about it for this video. If you have any questions, post them and I'll do another video. I enjoy doing these, and thanks for watching.